Hey Taurus, welcome to your March 2019 Astrology and Tarot video. Sorry I've been away for a while. I hope I'm going to be back at it regularly from here on out. Let's talk about what's going on in March for you. It's going to be a big month. You're going to have some major changes occurring for you specifically because Uranus, the planet of rebellion, the planet of shock, the planet of surprises, planet of technology and electricity, is moving into Taurus for its long-term stay until 2025. Uranus took a dip into Taurus in May of 2018. And the big thing to think back on is back when Hawaii was dealing with the road or the land literally fissuring and lava boiling up from underneath of it, and how that place has been forever changed by that. This period of time with Uranus transiting through Taurus indicates that once this transit is passed, the you who you are right now will be different in many ways in 2025. And yes, that's true for everybody, but since 2011, Uranus has been in Aries, and all of the Aries people, or people with strong Aries placements or aspects in Aries, have been getting significant shifts in their life. I did a video on Taurus inviting Uranus in last year. It was one of the last videos I did before I kind of dropped off the planet. And I'll have it linked in the video at some point, probably the information bubble or one of the cards at the end of the video. So you can have a refresher on what that was about and some of the themes and situations we may be either revisiting or reassessing because of this. And like I said, it's a long-term transit, 2025. That's a few years from now. But that's not the only thing that's happening in March. Let's start from the beginning. On the 1st, we have Venus moving into Aquarius. For you, this is the 10th house, Taurus. This is the house of Capricorn. It's the house of the William Shakespeare quote I like to attribute to it is, all the world is a stage. The 10th house is the stage that you approach the world on. It's how the world knows you through your career, your status, your reputation, your dealings with authority figures, or possibly being an authority figure in a field of expertise that you know a lot about. The 10th house is also the house of destiny, but it's really more those status relationship things that change, your job status, your marital status, your relationship status, pardon me, where you live status wise, moving up, moving down, all 10th house in my opinion. So Venus moving in there means that you could be getting some love sent your way appreciation wise from 10th house endeavors or 10th house influences. On the 5th of the month, we have Mercury, the planet of thought, movement, and communication, going retrograde at 29 degrees of Pisces. And Chiron has hung out at that position for a little while now and will soon be moving into Aries. I'm recording this in mid-February. By the time you see this, Chiron will be in Aries. But, yeah, this is giving you an opportunity to really solidify and reflect on what has gone on in that 11th house for you. Where have you been wounded and where have you been healing yourself in that 11th house? The 11th house is the house traditionally of Aquarius. It is the house of your social networking. This is not only online but also face-to-face in your teams, groups, memberships, and associations that you could belong to. It's very much the groups that you kind of circle in. And if the 3rd house is your neighborhood, then the 11th house is your city or county. It's bigger, but still where you deal with interactions and transactions sometimes with people. Usually informational transaction, not necessarily money transaction. I mean, that can be the case. Could be getting paid for work that you've done in the 11th house, or you could be reflecting on how you can utilize the 11th house for money making endeavors. And I say that because there's a new moon in this same house just a little bit down the road. It's like the next day. On the 6th, we have Uranus moving into Taurus, your first house, the house of your body, yourself, and your personality and your appearance. You could be feeling dry or dehydrated as well. So I would definitely suggest drinking more water. Uranus is a dry, staticky, cold kind of place. So your hair may need more moisturizing, that sort of stuff. And on the very same day, we've got that new moon at 15 degrees of Pisces. And this is midpoint in that 11th house. This is halfway through when we look at the 0 to 30 degrees aspect of it, of the 11th house. Again, social networking, teams, groups, memberships, associations. This is online or face-to-face dealings. I say online because the 11th house is, in my opinion, the house of the internet. So it could be that you're starting a new moon seed in utilizing the 11th house, like I said, for making money because you're a Taurus, right? On the 20th, we have the sun moving into Aries. This is your 12th house. When the sun is in the 12th house, one of two things occurs. You either get really, really tired or you are dealing with insomnia. And either you're burning the candle at both ends and you're exhausted, or you have insomnia and you're exhausted. But 12th house is the house that's traditionally ruled by Pisces. It is the house of karma, hidden, secret, nebulous things. It's the dream space. It's illusion and delusion sometimes. It's escapism as well. Pardon me. So the sun coming in here could be like illumination on secrets, illumination on karma. It could be that some things are being illuminated in your dream space. So maybe keep a dream journal next to the bed. I always suggest that. I mean, especially with Mercury going retrograde in Pisces, that it's like messages from the deep finding you kind of thing. Oh, and with Mercury retrograde in your 11th house, check your email spam folder because there may be some stuff that hasn't made its way to you because it's gone to the wrong spot. Yeah. On the 21st of the month, we have a full moon at 0 degrees of Libra. We've had several lunation cycles now where the full moon is at 0 degrees and it's like the new moon is at 15 degrees. So I feel like it's giving us a restart at the full moons. But also it's like hitting restart for some people, not everybody. For other people, it could be like a leveling up sort of situation. Bottom card is the underlying theme, overarching energy. Top three are for clarity. But yeah, that full moon at 0 degrees of Libra is in your 6th house of work and health and competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. Again, tying into that whole, how can I utilize this to make more money? For those of you who aren't using the internet to make more money, it could be that some of you are seriously considering learning something online as well, or relearning something online, doing it better, possibly. 6th house, with it being in Libra and it being your 6th house, Libra rules like the back and the kidneys and stuff like that. So be careful around that time with your back. And again, hydrate. Yeah. I'm pulling a card for you from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck as well. I'm sorry I keep coughing, y'all. It has gone from 70 degrees to 20 degrees and back 3 or 4 times in the last month here in Louisiana. So, Just as soon as you get used to one thing, it goes to something else. And I know it's that way all across the country, but my throat's always kind of been raspy since the fire, so it's even more so right now, or that's what it feels like it sounds like. I guess it'll manifest in the way that it sounds for y'all. I don't know. We'll see how it sounds when I'm going back through. On the 26th of March, we've got Venus moving into Pisces, again, the 11th house. Venus rules money and beauty and harmony and resources, again, in the 11th house of social networking. So some of y'all may be selling stuff online or services or 11th house, you're going to be busy socializing in one way or another. Some of y'all may be gaming a lot too, for those who do internet gaming. It's another thing. Mercury goes direct in that 11th house on the 28th. So communication will clear up towards the end of the month. And remember that Mercury has to clear its post-retrograde shadow, so give it about 2 weeks past that. Once you make it to about the 15th of April, you should be in the clear. But, you know, you can't put your life on hold. Just understand, if you start something during the retrograde phase, you are going to have to reassess it or revisit it more often than not, especially if it's an 11th house matter. And finally, on the 31st, we have Mars moving into Gemini. This is your second house, the house of Taurus, the house that deals with money and resources and possessions. So Mars moving in there could be, hopefully, activity in that second house, and it like be aggressive growth would be cool. It's March 2019 for this reading, so some of you may be getting like your income tax returns or something to that effect coming in, so that would be pretty cool too. And while I've been away, I started playing with another deck of cards. This is the Lenormand cards. They are like a sister set, I guess, to the tarot. I have found that these can be some salty little boogers, so just understand that. But I've used them to do clarity for the other cards, like in reflection. So what I'm going to do is flip these cards over, and then we'll talk about the Lenormand. Let me pull some cards for it as well. We'll get to them in a minute. Underlying theme or overarching energy of this spread, Three of Swords. The 3 deals with communication. You've got a lot of focus on the 11th house, and that is a means of communication. And the Swords deal with air signs, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Deals with reason, deals with intellect. But I mean, it's self-explanatory in seeing that there's heartache, some sort of separation, possible grief as well. It could just be that you find an email that you wish you'd seen sooner, or it could be like a falling out with one of your friends online, something to that effect. I hope that's all it is. Being the underlying theme or overarching energy of the spread. But I mean, it makes sense too with Uranus moving into Taurus, especially for the people who are at 0 degree Taurus, the very early, I would say 0 to 5 degrees of Taurus. That would be any planet, any angle, is gonna feel Uranus move in. Even if you don't have a planet that's being affected, the house that Taurus is ruling for you in your personal chart is going to feel Uranus come in. And it's going to be like Uranus is coming in and kicking the door down. It's just the way that's what it feels like. Another 3, the 3 of Cups. 3, dealing with communication. The Cups are significant to the water sign energy, that is Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. We do have a lot of Piscean energy in this reading. That for you, again, is the 11th house. This 3 of Cups, though, is dealing with, like, friendship and community. Oh, crap. Okay, community. Online community. Some of you could be being praised, and some of you That may be what it starts out feeling like, but by the end of the month, it could be something else. I don't like the way that it's book ended by two threes. One starting out really positive feeling, and then ending up not so positive feeling. Eight of Cups. The 8 deals with change, and we can't stop it. And the planet of like shocking change and revolutionary change and liberating change as well is definitely visiting y'all. This 8 of Cups is about walking away. It's also escapist or escapism. It's a card of disappointment. I told you about the 0 degree full moon in Libra, and I was like, watch your back and be careful of your back. Well, this dude's, or whoever this is, this character has turned their back on all of the emotional investment that has been done. But it could also be leaving emotional wounds behind. Some of you may be using this time to dig deep emotionally, like doing what I'm doing right now. I am going to therapy for processing a lot of trauma. Some of you may be coming to the realization that that's what you may need to do or what would be in your highest good. I am not by any means saying that is for you, but it could be. But this is about walking away. This is leaving it. Even though you poured yourself into it, it's walking away, and it's a change. And I can't help but notice that we've got a full moon here. So the full moon may be about some big changes, and there may be some backs turned in one way or another. Another thing of symbolism that I want to point out is that the red cloak is got their back here. The red cloak has got their back here. So it could be like a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, possibly turning their back on you, or you turning your back on them. I hope that's not the case, but if it's something that you need, that you've outgrown or they've outgrown you, then the universe implores that it's time for you to let it go. Nature abhors a void is what I heard. The 6 of Cups. 6, dealing with the theme of growth. And when there's growth, that means there are growing pains as well. The Cups, again, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This is like a karmic card, like childhood innocence. It could be looking back on things with nostalgia. It could be looking back at your childhood and seeing the bad and the good. I've got a Taurus moon. It's very resonant for me. I also see this as a card of sharing and charity. It could be that you are sharing reflections on what happened, or going back and asking questions, getting reflection, or requesting clarity. And it may be in a social group. It very well may be in a social group. Or it could be with like family, but through an online medium. Because it's like you start out with the 3 of Cups, and that's about enjoying oneself. I honestly see it as like the bachelorette kind of party, or the bachelor party, and that doesn't mean just that, but it's a gathering. It's a group of happy people that are celebrating good times. And then it's like immediately after that, there's a change of heart, or there's some serious reflection that occurs. And that's where the 8 of Cups comes in. And it's like, I have to leave this behind. Either leave behind my partying, leave behind that time, leave, you know what I mean? You have to, something has to be walked away from, because there's an evolution that needs to occur. And it's not going to occur unless you make room for that space. Again, nature abhors a void. Now for the Lenormand cards, I pulled these for clarity, to reflect the cards that are above them. But before I get into the delineations of what those cards are, let me tell you about the Sage Goddess Gemstone card that I pulled for you. This is a Still Bite card dealing with clarity, peace, and dreaming. 12th house, that's the sun moving into Aries around the 20th. Deals with healing and amplifying the vibrations of the heart and crown chakra. Stillbite is a stone of love, bliss, joy, and calming frequencies. It opens you to receive the universe's infinite love and also helps you to accurately interpret your dreams. You've pulled this card because you need deep self-love and to pay attention to the messages that you receive in dream state. So meditate with Stillbite to feel blissful, balanced, and insightful. It's kind of interesting that I was talking about a dream journal and then this card shows itself as more of an indicator that yes, that would be a good idea for you. Let me grab a sip really quick because I feel like I'm fixing to start coughing again. Let's start the way that I do the regular cards. The card that reflects the Three of Swords is this, the dog card. And the dog is the number 18 card of the deck. 1 plus 8 is 9. That speaks to the 9th house. And you have quite a few planets starting out at the beginning of the month in the 9th house. You've got Venus, Saturn, who will stay there for a while, and Pluto, who has been there for a while and staying there for a while. The dog in the Lenormand card deck deals with friends. It deals with followers, like social media followers. Isn't that interesting? And it deals with like your pets. I also see it like loyalty. And down here in the corner, we've got a 10 of hearts. Interesting that we have a heart here too to reflect. The hearts represent the cups in the tarot set. And the 10 is a number of completion. The 10 of cups is a card of happiness and alignment. So what I'm seeing between these two cards is that there may be some sort of miscommunication or discord between followers, social media friends, and even friends that you have like in real life, like face-to-face social groups. There could be some miscommunication and there could be like some heartbreak. I know for me personally, today as I'm recording something, there is something significant going on that I would normally be a part of, but I'm not right now, and it hurts. I kind of feel like that in reflection to this. So almost feeling like you're being left out or removed. The card that reflects the Three of Cups is the Sun card. And the Sun card is the Ace of Diamonds. The diamonds represents coins or pentacles in the tarot deck. So an ace is a potential. Pentacles is like material, like earthly material and resources and possible money. The Ace of Pentacles is like manifestation and prosperity. So it could be like a celebration of some, either a deal getting made or the payout of a deal being made coming to you, or you get news of it. Remember that the Ace of Pentacles always comes in on a cloud, and it's almost like it's a surprise. This Sun card is the 31st card of the Lenormand deck. 3 plus 1 is 4, and that speaks to the 4th house of the zodiac. That's traditionally ruled by Cancer. You've had a lot of Cups associations coming up with Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So, again, pay attention to that. This Sun deals with like triumph and success. It could also deal with like a holiday. Some of y'all may be planning a vacation online, which would be very cool. Or wanting to plan a vacation online. The card reflecting the Eight of Cups is the letter. The letter is reflective of the Seven of Spades in the tarot deck. The Seven of, the Seven of Spades would be the Seven of Swords. 7 is a number of faith. The swords deal with air signs. That's Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. We've got a Libra full moon. The Seven of Swords is about betrayal and feeling duped, deception, fraudulent things, possible theft. So it could be that you're finding out about something that you've put time, money, energy, focus into, and then this letter comes across. The letter is the 27th card of the Lenormand deck. 2 plus 7 is 9. Speaking to that 9th house, again, lots of 9th house energy. Venus starts out there, and you've got Saturn and Pluto there. Letter deals with an actual message or letter, papers or paperwork. Could be that there's some stuff that you've left unaddressed that you have to deal with. It comes back up for you in one way or another. And it could be around the full moon. It definitely could be around the full moon. Like some information comes in, a message, or you find some paperwork, or something inspires you to go back and reflect again. And it's interesting with the synchronicity that came up with this, because I was talking about how this card is kind of like childhood. Well, the card that reflects it in the Lenormand is the child. The child is the Jack of Spades, which would equate to like the page or the knight of the tarot deck. And that's either a messenger, or motion and movement. Dealing with the spades, again, swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We do have that full moon in Libra on the 21st. It's dealing with opinionated people. It's dealing with curious people. It's dealing with hasty and energetic people. Sometimes the qualities you could associate with a child. But the child in the Lenormand actually it's the 13th card of the deck. 1 plus 3 is 4. Again, another Cancer signature. So you may be dealing with a Cancerian. You may be dealing with a Libra. Because those two signs seem to keep repeating themselves. And you can see how the Lenormand gives just a little bit extra information to where it can help you hone into what may be being reflected in what's coming through in the reading. The child is about children, small things, little things. And this card being of nostalgia and looking back at your childhood again, it's very interesting how it reflects. Some of you may be dealing with like a childhood sweetheart coming back and being like, hey, what's going on? And then you have to decide if it's worth your time or not. Especially with Mars moving into the 2nd house. That's what I see. That's what's going on for me with y'all. I hope your month is much more of this and not a whole lot of this. But that's what I've got for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I'm sending you a lot of love, and I do hope that you're well. Please be kind to yourself. Save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through private things in our world that some of us will never speak about to another living soul. I intend on doing another series for you before the April videos come out, where I talk about the eclipses and pull some cards and talk about the aspects and what happened in that for y'all. But I'm going to get this done first. So, yeah, I hope you're well. Take care. I love y'all. Bye.